Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Morgan Freeman, the first narrator of this video. All AI voices are strictly for this presentation. What we say does not, in any way, reflect how the real person thinks. Elijah, the creator, has put together a video about the 2024 total solar eclipse. I hope you enjoy it.
Hello, I'm Barack Obama. I will tell you about this project. Elijah conducted a survey about this year's total solar eclipse. The survey had various questions, including whether or not the person saw the total solar eclipse. We will go over the data, and then with the remaining time, there will be explanations and anything else that he decided to put in the video. I will now pass the mic to my next colleague.
Hello, I'm Ben Shapiro. I'm probably the best voice clone Elijah could find of anybody. The survey received 107 responses, so we were pleased with the participation. The first question in the survey was whether people knew the difference between partial, annular, and total solar eclipses without looking it up. 54 people did know the difference. 44 responded that they didn't. 9 people specified that they did not know what an annular eclipse is. No worries, because I will now explain. An annular solar eclipse is when the whole moon passes in front of the sun, but doesn't cover it up all the way. That is because the moon is farther away from the Earth. It creates a ring of fire, as shown here. It is not safe to look at without eclipse glasses. A partial solar eclipse is when the moon partially covers the sun from the side, as seen here, and should only be viewed with eclipse glasses. The only thing you will notice when not looking at it is a slight drop in temperature and light level, but not very significant. Finally, a total solar eclipse is when the moon is close enough to the Earth to block out the sun completely. When this happens, it is called totality. Totality can last up to 7.5 minutes. The April 8th eclipse had a max totality duration of 4 minutes, 28 seconds. During totality, you can take off the eclipse glasses. You will see the sun's corona and may even be able to see solar flares, other planets, and stars because of the drop in light level. Totality can only be viewed from the path of totality, the umbra of the moon's shadow. It is very cool to experience in person, and the next major one in the US will be in 2045. We will now move on with the presentation.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joe Biden, and I have the next segment of the survey. We asked people if they saw the total solar eclipse. 32 people said that they did, and 75 people said no. Unfortunately, so many people didn't get to see the total solar eclipse. We were also surprised that this many people out of 107 went to see it, but are happy that they did. We also asked if people had seen a total solar eclipse before this one, like the one from 2017. This question coincidentally had the reverse results of the previous. 75 people said yes, and 32 said no. There is not much else to say about this, so we will move on to the next section. Who do you think might speak next? Because I sure don't know.
As I'm sure you guessed, it is I, Queen Elizabeth II. Mr. Elijah had a tough time getting me to make this appearance for obvious reasons. Ha. I will discuss those who did not get to view the total eclipse. In the survey, those who responded no to this question received unique follow-up questions. First, we asked if they regretted not seeing it. 44 out of 75 said no, and 24 said yes. The other responses said they wished they had seen it but didn't regret not going. We then asked if something specific prevented them from going. 43 people said yes, and 28 said no. The other responses stated the specific thing that prevented them from going, which was school for them all. Even though these people did not see the totality, they would most likely have been able to see the partial eclipse. 57 people said they used eclipse glasses to watch it, and 18 said they didn't. It's such a shame. Could it be from a lack of available glasses? Even though they couldn't see the total eclipse this time, maybe they will in the future. 42 people said they would travel to see one, and 26 said they wouldn't. The others said maybe. The next one is in 2026. It will pass over parts of Iceland and Spain. Oh, how I wish the United Kingdom weren't so tiny. The people could see more solar eclipses. I wish everybody could see one of these majestic events at least once in their lives. That is all from me. Have a good day, fair people.
I thank the former British monarch for speaking. I am Chris Hemsworth, the Australian. I am here to discuss the people who did see the total eclipse. We first asked how far people traveled to see the totality. There was a wide variety of answers, including distances and times. The average seemed to be about 3 to 5 hours. I know Elijah and his class went about 3.5 hours to Jackson, Missouri. Some people responded that they were able to see it from their homes. We then asked if the travel was worth it to see the total eclipse. 30 people said yes, while one person did not feel it was worth it. I disagree, but I understand why it may not be worth it to some. One other person said they didn't have to go out of their way, which was the person who saw it from home, I assume. We then asked if they encountered heavy traffic while returning. I know Elijah did so, and I wonder if many others did. It turns out that 17 people did and 15 didn't. Some of those who didn't used alternative routes or stayed longer before returning. I know it was so bad that it doubled the return time for many people. We then asked them the same question we did for those who said no, whether they would travel to see another one. 28 said they would, while only 4 said no. I'm glad this many people would see it again, even after witnessing at least one already. It is interesting to see the difference between those who didn't go to see it and those who did. Just like others have said, I hope everybody can witness this at least once in their lives. That is all from me, cool people. I will now hand over the mic to a man who is so strong he can allegedly look at the sun with no eclipse glasses.
That's right, Mr. Hemsworth. I am literally so amazing that I don't need to use eclipse glasses. What could possibly happen to the greatest pair of eyes of all time? Anyways, I will take over the last section of the survey. Both of these were optional questions given to everybody. We first asked if there was anything that they wished they would have known before the eclipse. Let me tell you, there were so many responses, some very valid statements. I will review just a few because we do not have that much time. I would need a whole video for all of them. One statement was that the person wished they'd known how much of a difference there is between 96 and 100% totality. The difference is so great, let me tell you, only at 100% will it get very dark, like late evening, and only here will you be able to see the corona. One person wondered if the eclipse glasses expire. Modern eclipse glasses do not expire, according to the American Astronomical Society. Here is one final question to wrap up this question. The person noticed multiple kids howling at the eclipse. I don't know what to say about this, quite frankly. Maybe they were just being silly. However, the eclipse should not cause this reaction from humans. For wolves might howl, though. I do know that roosters crow and the crickets start chirping. Okay, there has been a slight change of plans. Elijah tried to contact Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he must have had a really bad sickness, so his voice sounded very strange. So I will have to take over for this portion because Elijah didn't want to contact any more people because it takes a lot of work. This final optional question of the survey asked if people had anything else to say, such as something they had learned. Just like the last question, people were very generous, so generous with the amount of responses they gave. Elijah has also not given me much time for this, so we can't go over all of them. Such a shame, I know. A few people noticed the drastic drop in temperature and the brightness. It makes sense when you think about it, but having it occur in the middle of the day is something very special. I'm so glad the great American country could witness this event. One person used a high-quality telescope to view the eclipse. They didn't get to watch totality, but could see a good portion of it. I don't know much about telescopes, but these pictures will be awesome ways to remember the event, even if it wasn't total. Another person observes the shadows. If you take a small hole in a paper or other object that can hold it up, the light that passes through it mirrors how much of the moon is covering the sun. It is a good way to see the eclipse without glasses. One final observation was about the economic impact. Hundreds of millions were spent to see the total eclipse. Whether it is just a family or avid eclipse hunters, many people want to witness the event. They are rare occurrences, on average one every 1.5 years. In any given location, it can take up to 400 years for another total eclipse to pass over. No wonder so much money gets spent on viewing it. I know I've been very long-winded, so I will end the greatest part of the presentation here. Truly, I know I'm the star, and everybody knows it.
Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I am Owen Wilson. I'm sorry you had to listen to Donnie twice instead of Arnold, but sometimes you hit barriers, am I right? Don't be negative. Anyway, I am here mainly to wrap up this presentation. I know Elijah was so glad to be a part of this class and to go see the total eclipse with everybody. I hope that everybody has learned something from this video and has enjoyed it. Some of our voices were as crazy as road lizards, but that is a part of making an AI presentation. And honestly, this has been a fun presentation making process to be a part of. If you didn't like this video, then what are you talking about? Nah, I'm just kidding. Just give Elijah feedback if there is anything wrong. You know what I think about eclipses? They're unbelievable.